Okay, if I can have your attention, please. We're pleased to be joined in the Texas Motor Speedway Media Center now by Danica Patrick. She drives the number 7 GoDaddy.com Chevrolet in the NASCAR Nationwide Series for JR Motorsports. And Danica, you had a couple good practice sessions this morning. Talk about that and talk about racing here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Yeah, it was a pretty decent morning. The car started out really good. When it was colder out there, I had a couple of runs where I was like, I don't even know what to tell you to change at this point. It just feels good. And but as soon as I gave any feedback as to a direction, I said, well, if I go flat, I'll probably push up the track. And so then there we went. And we worked with the car a little bit in the first practice, got it a little loose by the end, came back on it, and then in the second session was pretty loose really the whole time until the very end. So I like to do qualifying runs so that I know what to expect, but since we're running qualifying today, which is nice, and I don't have to wake up in the morning cold and go out there and do it, and since the car was loose anyway, I think it's better to get an accurate read on what the car was like by staying in race trim and getting a final run out there. And it was only going to be a couple laps because of the long yellow, and so there's always that chance that you don't get a good qualifying run anyway. So I think that was a good call. I felt pretty comfortable right at the end, and we're back to a bit of a push. So I think that I'd like that. Probably come back on that a little bit, and hopefully it'll be good for qualifying today. But all in all, it was a really good start for the GoDaddy car today. We're pretty pleased.
Okay, thanks, Danica. We'll take questions now. We'll start right over here with Ray, and then we'll come to Mike. State your name and who you're with, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Danica, I'm Ray Buck from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. I wanted to ask you how you balance being such a good ambassador for the sport to learning the NASCAR circuit.
Well, thanks. I understand that I have a lot to learn, and I'm open to any opinion at all from anyone. I will take it and I will try and use it, and anything that doesn't really register yet, at least I'm familiar in my mind, so that when a situation that's been described to me before comes up, then I can go, all right, I remember what they said now, and I'll try and use that instead of dealing with issues out there, making the most of it with my inexperience, and then coming in and asking questions and getting that direction. I have it already stored, so that helps with the learning process, and that helps that's just my attitude. I have really no ego in what happens or getting help from people or claiming saying that I don't know what I'm doing yet, and I understand it's a learning process, and the other part of it is everybody on the media side's been really patient and really positive with me, so that keeps the rest of the fan base and everybody optimistic and positive, and that makes a really big difference. Instead of coming down on me hard and me feeling beat up every now and again, I feel optimism.
Let's go to Mike, and then we'll go to this gentleman here, and then to Bruce.
Mike Muller, MikeMuller.net. Maybe you're already doing a lot of practicing, but have you been doing practicing like at Rockingham or Milwaukee or some of those places, or New Smyrna, wherever all these guys go out there, just spend a couple of days and just ride around the track and learn how tires give up and all that sort of stuff? And it does seem like you've, over the last couple of races, have like a light bulb's gone off. You seem to be clicking with this thing all of a sudden.
Special food. I found the special food. No, well, maybe I think that, part of it is probably repetition, being in the car, and the other part of it is Tony Jr. and I learning each other. I think mile and a halfs are our strong suit right now. And then the other part is just me getting more familiar, more comfortable, and me learning, instead of just being continuously overwhelmed out there and not being able to control kind of what's going on, and everything came at me for a while. It just at a high speed, and everything from how to get out of the pits to restarts to race running and moving all around to the track. So just getting more comfortable with all that stuff. And I haven't been testing lately, but we tested at the end of last year and into the beginning of this year a bit. But it's been when you're in the car every week, we're making progress. So, but I'm always up for testing and practice. It's good experience, and I think especially for me, like short ovals are something I need to work on. I need to work on myself. Need to work on a car that I'm happy, driving, and for long runs. And so, I think that's what I would need the most work on for sure.
Go ahead, sir.
Walt Macaborski, Tribune, 33 News. This is Boucher's backyard. He kind of grew up racing here, and he learned the ropes here. Where's your relationship now? Have you talked recently, or how are things going between you two?
I don't think we have much of a relationship. I don't know. Probably. I mean, there's a lot of people I don't. A lot of people I don't know. He hasn't said anything after Fontana, and that's all right. I just I don't feel bad saying this, but he's kind of like on eternal probation with me. Like, if he messes, if something happens, then I know what to do. But if he plays fair like he did the last couple of weeks, then there's no issue.
Let's go ahead, Bruce.
Bruce Martin, SI.com. Didn't Ryan Briscoe used to be on eternal probation with you also?
He hasn't messed with me too much, I don't think. So.
No. Speaking of a light bulb going off, a spotlight went off on you here in June. I mean, it was what you say is still probably the best race of your career. And I mean, even though there are different types of cars and all that, does that kind of give you a little more confidence about going out there in this type of car?
It's nice to have good races here. I think that, like I said, the mile and a half suit me, and at least in this car at this point, and they tend to in IndyCar as well. But I think the banking helps, and maybe there is something you end up finding for a certain track that you just understand, and you just have a good feel for the track and the surface. And but I also think that there's something, Texas is a little unique as well. It's from a visual perspective. I really felt like this morning before I got out there that I felt really, I don't know, I just felt a little bit more comfortable than other tracks that I've arrived at for the first time in a stock car, even if I've been on them before, just because Texas is visually unique, and so I felt like I just had a good feel for it as a driver, and visually that I can move around and kind of just familiarity.